Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Realm of Ori. In this video, we will continue with Volume 15, Chapter 2, Unleashed Power, Part 7. And before we start, this video contains spoilers from the Tensura Light Novel. And by the way guys, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon to get notifications for upcoming videos. So without further ado, let's get into the video. In the sky, the true red flying dragon and I were staring at each other. The battle began visibly after Velgrynd temporarily transformed into human form. She used the heat harvest cannon and the green dragon blade to fire nuclear strike magic at me in rapid succession. Her main concerns were, defense was probably abandoned in order to be able to settle the master with certainty. In that case, I'll also challenge her on that premise. Velgrynd's beauty was enhanced by the murderous expression on her face. She swung down the green dragon sword with an aura that was going to split me in half, boarding that killing chi on the blade. I wasn't going to let her cut me, of course. Ciel received the magical counterpart, and I drew my own blade, the Divine Glory Vajra's straight blade, to face Velgrynd. Velgrynd wields a broad-edged machete, the green dragon sword. This was a divine soldier with the status of a legendary weapon. When I became a true dragon, my sword, on the other hand, reached mythical proportions. My weapon should be able to defeat Velgrynd's green dragon blade, as dangerous as it is. That's not all. Velgrynd's green dragon blade snapped and shattered with a crisp sound. Velgrynd must have been even more surprised than I had been. Can you tell me what you've done? I didn't do anything other than accept the opponent's attack. So when you asked me what I did, I had no idea what to say. The performance gap in weapons. The Master's straight sword is a well-known sword forged with all of Kurobi's soul, whereas Velgrynd's green dragon sword is nothing more than the result of magicule repair. The density of mana is incredible, and it has the equivalent of mythical performance, but it is still a dull knife by nature. Is that the situation? I expected there to be a significant difference in strength between weapons of the same mythical level, despite the fact that I knew weapons of the same level varied in strength. Sure enough, one's own used equipment can be relied upon. Velgrynd wasn't a fool. She seemed to recognize that my words weren't lies, but she still couldn't accept it, and she repeatedly swung the green dragon blade at me. All of the green dragon blades were shattered. Velgrynd had finally come to terms with reality. While making her next attack, she stared at me defiantly. Because the weapons created were useless, one's only option was to rely on one's own flesh. Velgrynd lengthens her paws and assumes a Chinese jab stance. When I saw her like this, I put my knife away as well. You'll become a bully if you use a weapon, so I'll fight you with my bare hands. The purpose of a fight is to provoke the other person. It's not too much to say that if Velgrynd can be made to lose her cool on this, it's a win or lose situation from here on out. Don't take people for granted. It's a smash hit. Velgrynd fell into my trap because it's so easy to be funny. What followed was nothing more than her playing chess like a general and gradually driving her to desperation. Velgrynd clawed away at a breakneck speed. As a result, it was impossible to keep up with her movements by sight. My perception speed, on the other hand, is now equally extraordinary. Since I gave the King of Wisdom the name, Ciel, the rate of thinking acceleration has increased. In other words, as long as I can maintain a certain distance, I can shift away from even light-speed attacks. A second feels like a decade has been stretched out, resulting in a world that appears to be frozen in time. The ordinary human self would collapse due to inability to bear the feeling, but Ciel only used the thinking acceleration when it was necessary and smoothly solved the problem. So it doesn't matter how fast Velgrynd is, it's not a problem for me. I don't need to think about physical arts, swordsmanship, or other techniques at this point, and I can simply use brute force to subdue her. Overdrive attacks from Velgrynd are closing in. Her speed had accelerated to hundreds of times the speed of sound, and if it had been me before, we would have fought tooth and nail. It is not, however, a problem for the person I am now. You're moving too slowly. I deflected behind her, stirring Velgrynd in the process. Velgrynd, on the other hand, was no slouch. She had anticipated my actions and had reacted quickly. To be honest, I think she's a real pain to deal with. With the strongest race, you can never be too careful. You're right. It's hard to believe your speed is faster than mine, so you used space movement to do it? Your spatial movement is remarkable, so natural and devoid of even the tiniest distortion of space, but you can deal with it by understanding the principle. Velgrynd appeared to have erupted into a rage as a result of my provocation, but she was actually calmer than I had assumed. Trying to convince Ciel that it was truly worthy of being Veldora's sister, but it was exactly what she had expected. it will not be possible to transfer in the realm of my dominion as long as you interfere with space and fix the entire space. It's a pity. Velgrynd possessed space dominance, and she was capable of interfering with a wide range of spaces centered on her. We can't rely on space control for the transfer in that case. I'm going to have to use a real hidden trick on someone like you. Do you believe you can win simply by completing the transfer? Let me teach you that it isn't going to work in that case. You have a lot of arrogance. If I didn't have to avenge that kid, I probably wouldn't hate you as much. But that's all there is to it. Velgrynd transformed into a crimson meteor, a missile aimed at the atmosphere that transforms into a supersonic projectile. The rate, however, accelerates even more, the Scorch Dragon Acceleration. Velgrynd transformed into a crimson meteor, hurtling towards me at a speed approaching sublight speed. In addition, her meteoric bullet has the ability to change orbits. Velgrynd was able to change her flight path by transforming her own flesh into meteoric bombs. No, this is the Scorch Dragon fighter's accelerated speed in its most powerful form. A free-changing trailing attack, not just a straight-line attack. Furthermore, because the energy fluctuations emitted included more than just the quality kinetic energy, this move became a high-damage attack. Through the analysis of the Scorch Dragon fighter's accelerated excitation, the essence of this move had been perfectly grasped. As a result, I let the birth of the theosophical nucleus named Ciel become the cause of Velgrynd's defeat on the spur of the moment. The full range of the King of Gluttony has already unfolded, just as it was intended. Whatever angle the other party approaches Velgrynd from, they can easily prey on her. A willful being, not to mention the fact that it is a true dragon species, will resist predation in the usual way. It was impossible for Ciel to prey on Velgrynd with the King of Gluttony, no matter how hard she tried. Her resistance dropped dramatically as a result of the energy being distributed on top of the attack. As a result, the outcome is what it is. In my infinite imaginary space, Velgrynd was isolated. How is this even possible? What is going on here? What the hell is going on? She flew into nothing but space just as she thought she'd finish me off, and Velgrynd must have struggled to understand what had happened. Her defeat would undoubtedly take her a long time to accept. As a result, it's up to me to tell her straight. I'm the one who comes out on top. All you have to do is stay put. Me, I'm a loser? Yes. You won't be able to leave my fictitious space, and you won't be able to transfer your energy to your alternate reality. Ask Veldora for more information. Why don't you ask Veldora? What in the world are you on about? Kuahahahaha. It's me, sister. Everything is fine. Veldora, didn't you just vanish? Allow the siblings to talk on their own after that, in the hopes that she will calm down when the time comes. I quickly dispatched Velgrynd and successfully captured the majority of her mana in the void space. With 2 dragon races as adversaries, this daring challenge came to an end in the most perfect form, with the birth of a dependable partner, Ciel.